Troops here say they are increasingly frustrated by American criticism of the war. Many take it personally, believing it is also criticism of what they've been fighting for. Apache Company has lost 2 soldiers and now worries their country may be abandoning the mission they died for. Richard Engel, NBC News.
Thanks, Richard. Fortunately for the citizens of Australia, there is still aid being sent by the U.S. government to support the efforts of their military. However, with every passing moment, the invading forces grow stronger and stronger inside their newly liberated country. So far, most of the world has come to accept the fact that these invaders are here to stay. Even most of the U.S. officials in Washington are giving up on the efforts of the Australian forces, calling it, quote, a waste of money. Even though the U.S. is the biggest contributor to the war efforts of the AMF, there is strong criticism growing here in the United States about whether or not we should even be involved in the conflict. The AMF is doing the best they can with the supplies they have, and so far have taken back 2 of the 4 main ports within the mainland and bombed the other 2. All forces are launching attacks from their staging ground in New Zealand and have fought with courage and valor to take back their country. The Australian Prime Minister had this to say this morning. The biggest problem we're having is funding. As of right now, we're locked in a stalemate with our aggressors, and there's going to be no change until we get more funding from countries around the world. We have the manpower and the willpower, but not the firepower. Despite the desperate plea from Prime Minister Nichols, funding from the U.S. government could take up to 9 months to clear the Senate and make its way to the President's desk. Caller number 1, what are your thoughts on the U.S.'s support stance? Do you think the U.S. has done enough?
No, we're not doing enough. You have to get funding to them immediately. They've lost that whole country. They only have New Zealand left. That's the size of Manhattan. You can't just expect them to live there. The rest of their country is enslaved. They've been used as forced labor for the new immigrants. I mean, anything they need, as soon as an immigrant needs something, the slaves come out, and it's the Australians that are being enslaved. We outlawed slavery so long ago, and yeah, it's still in full effect right now in Australia, and we can't be bothered giving them money? I mean, really, we need to send forces in there too. We can't expect them to do everything themselves. That's preposterous. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You have to get them funding as soon as possible. 9 months is too long. The politicians are making this a long, drawn-out process because election year is coming up. You can't. It's terrible. We need to get them moving, get something over there, because the funding we're giving them now is not enough. It's enough to buy maybe a plane or 2 every month. They need much more than that. If we just started giving them planes, that would work much better. We're their number 1 supporter, and we're giving them nothing. Imagine how that must make them feel, because none of the countries around the world, including Britain, over there at the other side of the sea, they can't be bothered doing anything. So we really need to get something going. So send it over there as soon as possible.
So am I right in saying that you disagree with their policy completely?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they haven't done anything. They need help immediately. You can't just expect them to invade their own country again. They've been taken over. We let them do that. I mean, really, the whole country was on holiday, and we let them invade them. That's terrible. We have to do something about it. Well, the money we're giving them is not enough. It's a couple $1 million a month, and the plan they're proposing in 9 months is for $20 million. So it's terrible that should take 9 months. The election year is coming up, so nobody wants to have their name on a bill that's costing the country money. So they want to make it so they get their port projects in and build that new bridge at the other end of town that everyone wants, and they're not worried about across the ocean that the Australians are being enslaved and used as forced labor. I mean, imagine what that must feel like. We did that here in America so long ago, and it was outlawed, finally, in the 1860s. It took us that long. Imagine how it's going to take them. It'll be the year 2100 before slavery is outlawed again, and everyone's going to have equal rights. So we need to help them get their country back so that doesn't become an issue.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. We're going to move on to another caller. Caller number 2. Go ahead. Do you think the U.S. has done enough to help the Australian forces?
Oh, I think we've done plenty. We've given them so much money that they don't even need. I mean, really, we could give it to people starving in New Orleans and give them money for clothing, and in New York we could go to the soup kitchens and give them sweaters and, give them rain jackets for when it rains. We could be using that money in our own country. We shouldn't be giving it away to other people. I know a couple people that would spend $20 million on clothing. Really, that's terrible. We should give it to the poor, and we could give it to soup kitchens and clothing banks and, food deposits, and I think we could use it all over the country, not in Australia. I mean, really, nobody likes Australia anyways. I think we should just all be Democrats and take over the world, and then we don't even have to worry about that, and we could give everyone the care they deserve.
Well, that was interesting. Okay, I'm going to move on to caller number 3. Caller number 3, do you think the U.S. has done enough to support the AMF?
What do I think of that? I don't know. That's a big question. What have we been doing?
Well, sir, there has been a new plan proposed to give the country $20 million. Do you think that's enough?
Do I think that's enough? No! I could find more money in my Lucky Charms. I know a leprechaun that could take me to the end of the rainbow and find more money than that. There's more money in my Lucky Charms. That's disappointing.
Thank you very much, sir. Going to move on to our final caller today. Go ahead, caller 4.
First of all, I'd like to say I resent the fact that your first caller said that we were doing nothing. We British here in England have been doing plenty to help the Australians. I mean, after all, they used to be a colony. Then again, so did the United States, but we're not going to go into that. But we have been supporting Australia for the last 200 years, and not all of it has been when we were owning them. I mean, we gave them independence, and we've been giving them supplies ever since. We're huge trade partners.
Let me just stop you there for a second before you get too far off topic. The question at hand here is, do you think the U.S. has done enough?
Well, the answer to that question would obviously be no, because Britain has been doing far more than America. I mean, really, $20 million, it's not even close to what we've given them. To say that you're their number one supporter is terrible. I can't believe it. That's unspeakable. To say that the U.S. is number one supporter. Oh, that's rich. That'll get a laugh tomorrow. Yeah, that's false. The United States has not done enough, because they haven't done what we've done here in England, where we've sent troops over there. Yay! We've sent boots on the ground to help. And you guys have not. That is what you should be doing. See, in Iraq, we were second there, but this time we righted our mistake and become first in line to help Australia. Why haven't you done that? That's what my question is.
Well, my question to you would be then, how many people have you sent over there?
Oh, well, I was not prepared for that question.
Yeah, I know, that's why I asked it.
Well, I couldn't say for certain, but I know it's more than you have. I mean, you haven't sent any over, have you?
No, we have not, but that doesn't excuse the fact that you've sent 15 people over there, maybe. I don't know. But don't start accusing people before you're ready to, back it up.
Oh, but I am ready to back it up. We've sent people over there. We've sent troops and supplies, and we've even sent a couple tanks over there. I mean, really, what have you sent them?
Well, we've sent them jet fighters and lots of ammunition and a couple tanks, and probably more tanks than you have. And we are their number one supporter when it comes to monetary funds, so you can't say that.
Well, anyways, the question you asked me was whether or not the U.S. has done enough, and I think you haven't. You should really get to your politicians about that, because I understand it's not your fault. So, go talk to your politicians about it, and maybe you could get something done.
Alright, well, I did not realize it, but we have enough time for one more caller. Caller 5, go ahead. Do you think that the U.S. has done enough to help Australia?
Well, I think we've done too much. I mean, it's not America, is it? We shouldn't care what goes on down there. We shouldn't give a rat's patoot. I mean, it's Australia. Nobody likes Australia. I mean, I heard that mentioned before. So, I'm just going to say now, nobody likes Australia. We shouldn't give money. Everyone should be a Republican, and we shouldn't have a government. How about that? You like that?
Starting to debate whether I should have taken that last call. Alright, so thank you, I guess, caller. We're going to take a break, and we will be back later with the debate between Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana. Stay tuned for more, and now a word from our sponsor.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Vernon.
It's Vernon. So, how was your tour of our nation's airport parking garages?
Oh, very valuable, Vernon.
Vernon.
I discovered that none of the airport garages offer everything we do here.
Oh, yes, sir. When you park your car at Wally Park, we have special pads to protect your car from dings and dents. 24-hour security.
Car wash.
Auto detail.
And fast, convenient shuttle service to locks.
That's LAX.
The covered parking?
Covered parking.
For every vehicle.
Every vehicle.
Wait a minute, Vernon.
Vernon.
Did you say Wally Park?
Oh, yes, sir. See all the signs?
It was supposed to be Wale Park.
What's a valet?
Wale, where the nice person parks your car for you.
Oh, valet.
That's what I said.
But Wally Park has self-parking, too, so...
Of course, and it's very easy on your wallet.
You mean wallet?
Vernon, you are such a wiener.
You mean wiener.
That, too.
Whether you self-park or valet, choose Wally Park for secure, affordable airport parking just off Century Boulevard behind the Hilton Hotel at LAX.
That's locks.
Yes. For more information, phone 800-PK-WALLY.
Many thanks to our sponsor there. Just going to let you know we're going to be back at 5:30 later today to talk about the President's new employment plan. This is Steven Spears signing off from KYW News Radio 1060.